Hi, my name is Heather Benite-Hardy, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
This is Amanda, the real deal Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Hi, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Janita.
And you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated IBF welterweight superstar, pound for pound boxer, Errol Spence Jr. sends a message out to Showtime. Shawn Porter, two-time welterweight champion, currently the WBC welterweight champion. No more talking. It's strap season. See you September 28th. That's a stern message Errol Spence had for Showtime Shawn Porter. These are two of the top welterweights in the world, right? You got one that's been a two-time welterweight world champion in Shawn Porter, and you got Errol Spence Jr., who went all the way to the UK to regain that IBF strap that Showtime Shawn Porter lost to Special K Brook, right? Both of these guys, have accomplished a lot in the sport of boxing thus far. Shawn Porter has more accomplishments thus far than Errol Spence, as he's been in the game longer than Errol Spence, right? But there's no back down from either of these guys. This fight is going to be explosive. This fight is can't miss. This fight is must-see TV, right? Showtime Shawn Porter is never known for backing down. He has 2 losses on his resume. As I just stated, he lost to Special K, Kell Brook. He lost to Keith one-time Thurman, whom both were undefeated at the time. But they were both very, very close, razor-thin victories for both of those gentlemen. And a lot of people feel like Showtime Shawn Porter won the fight with Keith Thurman. A lot of people thought that Shawn Porter won the fight with Kell Brook. There was a lot of controversy of Kell Brook excessive holding in that fight, dirty tactics and things of that nature in that fight with Shawn Porter, right? And there's people that feel like Shawn Porter won that fight with Kell Brook. And there's people that thought that Shawn Porter won that fight with Keith one-time Thurman, right? Errol Spence has been mowing through his opposition, right? There haven't been any close fights with Errol Spence. The closest fight you could get is the Special K Kell Brook fight. And even with that fight, he turned the tides. He broke Kell Brook's eye socket, the other one he had previously broke against Gennady Triple G Golovkin, after Kell Brook dared to be great and go up to middleweight division and take on Gennady Golovkin. He had some success in that fight, but ultimately Golovkin broke his eye socket and stopped Kell Brook. Kell Brook went into the fight with Errol Spence, and Errol Spence Jr. broke the other eye socket and eventually stopped Kell Brook in that fight as well, right? So that was an explosive fight. That was a close fight between Kell Brook and Errol Spence, right? But outside of that, he's mowed down all his competition. So this is a fight where we have the rubber meets the road, right? Something has to give. Is he going to be able to stop Showtime Shawn Porter? Shawn Porter has been down once in his career, and that was against Adrian the Problem Broner in the 12th round. He got caught with a check hook and got dropped in a fight that he was winning pretty much every round, right? Did he lose a little bit of focus? He got a little bit comfortable and got caught. Strong possibility, right? But you never seen Shawn Porter blown out in any fight. And obviously, like I stated, Errol Spence Jr. has been mowing down all his competition. Now, this fight here, we have a southpaw versus an orthodox fighter, but Shawn Porter is very versatile. He could fight very well on the inside. Actually, I believe that's his strength, right? Most people will highlight that as being his strength. Errol Spence has showed in his last fight against Mikey Garcia, 4-time Mexican 4-division world champion, that he could box. He just outboxed Mikey Garcia from round 1 to round 12, outclassing Mikey Garcia, who is a pound-for-pound fighter himself and was undefeated going into that fight. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say Mikey Garcia moved up 2 weight classes, but that's absolutely not true, because 3 out of Mikey Garcia's last 5 fights were at the 140-pound where he was a title holder. So, in fact, he moved up 1 weight class, okay? He moved up from 40 to 47, right? So with that said, he absolutely dominated Mikey Garcia, that being Spence. And in doing so, he got, highlighted and pushed to the front of the sport. People just, he opened so many eyes by doing so, because we used to seeing Errol Spence break down and get you up out of there, but he showed a whole different fashion to his game, right? A whole different skill set that he told everybody he had, and then he put it on display, right? And so now you get this fight. Well, is Shawn Porter going to come on the inside and try to fight Errol Spence on the inside? Shawn Porter has a significant size disadvantage going into the Errol Spence fight. Shawn Porter is not the biggest welterweight in the world. So does he want to, mix it up on the inside with Errol Spence? That could backfire on him, right? But then Errol Spence showed that he could box from the outside. So does he want to try to stay on the outside? And like I stated, he's at a disadvantage size-wise. So length-wise, he's also at a disadvantage. So Errol Spence would be able to touch him from the outside, right? And he's a great boxer. Who's the quicker of the two? I would have to say Shawn Porter is probably the quicker of the two, the faster of the two. But Errol Spence is more precise. Errol Spence is more accurate, right? And so Errol Spence doesn't waste punches. And so, that's what makes this fight so very, very interesting, right? Because we saw Shawn Porter against a big Cuban fighter, slick boxer, in Yordenis Ugas. And a lot of people felt like Shawn Porter lost that fight against Ugas. I'm not one of them. I thought that Shawn Porter won that fight. Maybe he edged it out by a round or two, but I felt like he won that fight. I just felt like Ugas wasn't doing anything. He was trying to counterpunch, but he wasn't even doing that, right? So he just wasn't active. He did have success in the fight, but he was very, very big. He looked absolutely huge and enormous next to Shawn Porter. But Shawn Porter, he had a little darting game. He was darting in and darting out, getting in and getting out, using his feet, using his legs, using his boxing ability, jabbing, jabbing his way in, getting a couple of big shots, then getting back out. Is he going to try to incorporate that type of style against Errol Spence? Is Errol Spence going to allow that, right? See, Yordenis Ugas didn't press the issue, right? He didn't go a high guard and just, close the gap. He didn't use his jab to close the gap, right? Was he able to? Maybe he just wasn't able to. We like to say what Ugas didn't do. We like to give Ugas the fight. Not me per se, but people like to give Ugas the fight. But he just didn't seem to have the a ring IQ high enough to close the gap to figure out what Shawn Porter was doing. And so that's why I had him losing that fight, right? Now, did he have success at spots? Absolutely. But does that win you a fight? Absolutely not. And so, Ugas just didn't seem to have it. I'm not going to say why he didn't do this and why he didn't do that. I'm going to say maybe he couldn't have done that. He just couldn't have closed the gap, because if he could have, he would have, because he would have won. He definitely wanted to win the fight. So with that said, I just think that he wasn't able to close the gap. So, I think that Errol Spence will be able to close the gap, right? But let's see, when he closes the gap, is Shawn Porter going to mix it up with him on the inside? Because he's able to do that, because he has a blitzing style that he used with Paulie Malignaggi, and he absolutely ran through Paulie Malignaggi and Devin Alexander, right? But they're not, obviously, Errol Spence. They don't have the strength and the accuracy. Paulie Malignaggi has a good high ring IQ, and he's a great boxer, but he has zero power, right? Devin Alexander is a southpaw boxer, but he doesn't have the strength and the power of Errol Spence, right? Errol Spence has a little of all of that. He has a high ring IQ, high boxing IQ, and he has the power. So do you want to blitz him? That's a big risk, right? We saw guys like Lamont Peterson try and take that approach, and that didn't bode well for Lamont Peterson, as he ended up stopping Lamont Peterson, right? He dropped Lamont Peterson and ended up stopping Lamont Peterson. So, is that something that Shawn Porter wants to, he's going to have to do it. He's going to have to mix it up with him. He's going to have to come on the inside and mix it up, and be on the outside, right? And box on the outside. So I'm thinking that he's going to have to incorporate some of the style that he used in the Yordenis Ugas fight. He had success, and people are going to say, well, Ugas is not Errol Spence. Obviously not, right? But I believe it was more of what Shawn Porter was able to do in the fight with Yordenis Ugas, opposed to what Yordenis Ugas didn't do. I think he couldn't do it, right? Because of Shawn Porter's quickness and his style and his ability to get in and out, right? So I believe that's what he's going to have to incorporate to beat Errol Spence Jr. But that's what makes this so exciting. We've never seen Shawn Porter dominated. You know, can Errol Spence walk Shawn Porter down, close the gap, and dominate him? Because we know he's a body puncher. But Shawn Porter is not going to be, holding anything back. He's going to be relentless. He's going to be there, right? And so we didn't see Errol Spence stop Mikey Garcia, who was a smaller fighter. He came up one weight class. He didn't come up two weight classes, but he definitely was the smaller fighter and come up one weight class. But at the end of the day, he wasn't able to stop Mikey Garcia. He didn't even drop Mikey Garcia, right? But Mikey Garcia was very, very hesitant to come on the inside because of the things that Errol Spence were able to do. And so, that leads me to believe that his power is much more, he has more of a, I talked to Maurice Hooker about this, and he said, when he compared Terrence Crawford to Errol Spence, he says Errol Spence has the break you down power, right? He said Terrence Crawford have that stifling one punch power that catches you off guard. He said, but Errol Spence is just he's a workaholic. He brings his lunch pail, right? And he just comes in and he just never stops. He's a machine, right? So you get no breaks, right? And so with that said, Shawn Porter is not gonna hold anything back. He's gonna come to win. He's coming to win the fight. And so the rubber's gonna meet the road, right? And we're gonna see how this turns out. And I absolutely cannot wait till September 28th for this unification bout. This is what boxing is all about. And Errol the Truth Spence Jr. said, there's absolutely no more talking. I'm done talking. It's strap season. I'll see you September 28th. Can't wait, man. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share this video.
Blue Blood Sport TV, baby, from the